let's go to the meditation portion, the fifth mantra of chapter 4 of Keno Upanishad. So, this inward travel of a jiva. So, what is this? What is this inward travel? Is what we were discussing for our meditation. I started last week. I will try to explain this verse, notes of this verse today. And then after seeing the notes, then we will try to meditate. See, whenever we are trying to do meditation, always remember that we have to deal with our mind. And the only way to deal with the mind is to say, I am of the nature of consciousness. That is the starting point. If you don't start as Atma or consciousness, you will never be able to understand what is the mind first. So last week I focused on the consciousness part. Mind is nothing but it is thought. Now this thought is always with Chidabhasa. There is no thought existing without the reflection of consciousness in the thought. So we have to go through the stages of the mind. Mind is the general condition of the reflected consciousness in the inner instrument. In that instrument, which is conscious, you will get thoughts. So this reflection in the mind is called as Chidabhasa. But for Chidabhasa to exist, you should have Chit, the original consciousness. So our journey is to move. Either you can start from consciousness and go to up to the mind through the Chidabhasa road, or you can start with the mind, go to a thought, and then see what is illumining these thoughts, which is called as reflected consciousness. And then if there is a reflection of consciousness in the thought, there must be some consciousness principle which is illumining the thought. So what it says is, I am Chit Brahman Sakshi, Nitya Mukta Atma. This is the general definition which we find in most of the Upanishads. The mind, thought, Chidabhasa are momentary. Why do we say they are momentary? Because they are fleeting. They're changing rapidly, continuously changing. Like when you see the river Ganga, you don't see the same river all the time. It's continuously changing. Similarly, when you see a flame, the flame, it appears as if it is constantly there. But what is changing? It is rapidly changing. Rapidly changing. The flicker is not noticeable to our human eyes, but it is there. It is always flickering. And how do you know there is a change? After 1 hour, you have lighted a lamp, the oil finishes. That means what? There is a consumption of oil for the flickering of the flame. Therefore, we say it is continuously changing. This is one of the examples given by Buddhistic philosophers to show that there is a continuously change which is happening. This fleeting nature is what is called as the mind. And what we should remember, that all these four, that means the consciousness, the reflection of consciousness, the thought and the mind, all of this are in the same locus. In the same locus means what? In the Chit itself, which is called as Satyam, that means my mind, I'm able to see it, but I'm not able to, I am not able to see the consciousness. What Vidyaranya says and what Keno Upanishad says is, in the same place where the thought is there, where the reflection is there, in the same place is the consciousness. Don't try to look for some other consciousness, some other place. It is in the same place. The thought is called as mithya. Mithya means it is appearance, whereas consciousness is satyam. This is a very, very important principle we should keep in mind. That is why in every meditation, you should say, I am satyam, I am satyam, I am changeless, I am nityaha, I am the pure consciousness. That consciousness never changes. What is changing is the thoughts. Once you go into meditation with this type of process, a time will come when the thoughts will drop by itself and your mind will remain with one single thought. What is that single thought? Aham nirguna brahma sakshi asmi. This is the last thought which remains. Nirguna means what? There is no guna. It is guna adhita. See, I'm going very deep in this meditation. I'm going into the depth of how your thought can go, in what depth it can go. And the person who can claim this has no sleep avastha anymore. Means what? He doesn't identify himself with the sleeper or the waker or the dreamer. He identifies himself as Nitya Mukta Atma. This is the ultimate in Vedantic study. But you have to go so deep. See, in these few charts and verses, they are only a help. They are only a instrument for me to use to go into my own depths. A person who claims that he is Brahman has recognized the self which is beyond the three states, beyond the three sharirams, and beyond the five koshas. So once you reach this level of meditation, then it is called as binary form. I am Satyam, I am consciousness, I am Atma. Everything else, including the state of waking, dream, sleep, causal body, subtle body, gross body, everything else is Anatma. This, once you are able to achieve Atma Anatma format, then it is easy to abide in the Atma. Then you can say that Sat is outside, Chit is inside me. There is no inside, outside for Atma. It is all one, all-pervading self. And this claiming is possible only in the Jagrata Avastha. In the Swapna Avastha and the Sushupti Avastha, the mind gets in a different condition. You can't do anything in those two avasthas. Many students, they fail to understand this Nirguna Swarupa of Brahman, which is taught by Veda in the Upanishads as Turiyam or as Bhuma or as pure Chaitanya. But if you try to understand the existence of this consciousness, and if you try to go in this step-by-step process, then you are called as Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari means you are a perfect fit student for Nirguna Nitya Chaitanya Swarupa. The whole process of meditation is meant for making our mind subtle and claiming our real nature as consciousness. Okay, please close your eyes. Let's try to dwell on our own nature. Sit erect. If you're sitting in a chair, keep your feet firmly on the ground. Let it not shake and disturb you. If it is firmly fixed on the ground, then your attention span will be longer. The process of meditation is called as Nididhyasanam or Dhyanam. This process is not aimed to make your mind quiet. Vedantic meditation is always with thoughts. The goal of meditation is to remember what I have learned in my Shravanam and Mananam. Recollection. The Veda reveals my nature as consciousness. Chaitanya Swarupam. Drik Swarupam. I am always a knower. Which is called as Atma. In the waking state, I have knowledge of the waking world. that pure consciousness as though becomes the waker, experiencing the waking world. It is the same consciousness which has two natures, nirgunam, sagunam. Sagunam means with attributes, gunas. Nirgunam means without attributes. In the sleep state, the object of knowledge is ignorance. I am existing as pure awareness. In all the three states. This awareness doesn't rise or set. This non-changing principle is ever free. I, as consciousness, am not affected by any condition of the mind. I learn to see all this in my own self. The sleep state of ignorance, the dream state, where the mind becomes clearly an object for Sakshi. There are only two things in the dream, the mind and Sakshi. I am not only inside the mind as the knower of the thoughts, desires, passions, anxieties, worries. I am the knowing principle, different than the mind. Mind is known. I am the knower. I repeat 3 times. I am the knower of the mind. See the meaning of these words in your own mind. I am not the mind. I am the knower of the mind. Let it go deep into your subconscious mind. Mentally repeat yourself 3 times. I am not the mind. I am the knower of the mind. The knower of the mind is called Atma. So the mind now learns to say, I am Atma, which is the knower of the mind. Repeat it 3 times. See the meaning. Oh. Om. Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Without your knowledge, your mind will repeat, I am Atma, the knower of the mind. When this happens, it is called as assimilation of Vedantic knowledge. Become aware of your body, rub your palms, and gently open your eyes.